Happy Tuesday, and this is another episode of SEIU Says. I'm Charlie, and to my left, we have a guest today, Phil Martini. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you for being here. Happy Tuesday. SEIU Says is sponsored by GWC. That's Goldberg, Weissman, and Cairo. That's Illinois' largest personal injury workers' compensation law firm. So if you have questions in regards to that, you would like to get information on GWC, we encourage you to give us a phone call at 312-588-7630. That number is 312-588-7630. And so, how's all the hard-working ladies doing out there today? And we would like to celebrate you coming up. That's right. It's that time once again, ladies and gentlemen. Get your calendars, get your phone, and save this date. It is the next SEIU Local 73 General Membership Meeting, and we'll celebrate Mother's Day. And the date of this is Saturday, May the 10th, 2014 at 9 a.m. at the local at 300 South Ashland Avenue. A rose for every mom. That's right, a rose for every mom. It's going to be special raffle prizes for the hard-working women. That's right. You could possibly win a spa visit. Well, someone is not possibly, but someone will win a spa visit. Get your nails done, a salon visit, and luscious chocolate. That's right. And the date of that is Saturday, May the 10th, 2014. So please RSVP. You can give us a phone call at 312-588-7630. That number is 312-588-7630, and that's the number to the Member Resource Center, and you will be able to RSVP for that event. So come out and get your rose and possibly be the winner for the spa visit. All right, so we have a very special guest that's called in today, and so we're going to actually make this announcement. Doris, are you there? Yeah, hi, how are you today?
Good. How about yourself?
We're doing very well. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Doris Mosley, and she's a union rep for the City of Chicago division. And she has a very, very, very important announcement to make. So everyone, please pay attention. Go, Doris.
Okay. This message goes out to all Chicago Police Department crossing guards. Of course, this is Doris, and I will be holding an informational meeting for all of the crossing guards at the Union Hall. That's 300 South Ashland on April the 11th, starting at 6 p.m. I will be covering lots of useful information, so I hope to see you there. Again, that's 300 South Ashland Avenue on April the 11th at 6 p.m.
Okay, Doris. So it's gonna be a lot of information. You are gonna have a special guest speaker, and
yes.
Right, that's gonna be really great. So, and that's gonna be for the crossing guards for the City of Chicago, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and that date is Friday, April the 11th, from 6 p.m. until 8:30 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, Doris. We thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, you have a great evening now.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So if you can make it out to that event, you are a crossing guard, we encourage you to do so. And so now this is SEIU Says, and we have a special update for the UIC, University of Illinois, Chicago. And Phil, take it away.
Thank you, Charlie. Good evening, brothers and sisters. I'm here to make a State of the Union, kind of State of the Negotiations address to you all. As you know, we've been in negotiations for well over a year with the University of Illinois at Chicago on all three bargaining units, which include service and maintenance, clerical and administrative aides, and the technical bargaining agreements. Of these three agreements, that represents about 3,000 employees at the University of Illinois. Over these 16 negotiation sessions, it's been pretty much the usual. We go in, sit for hours, management entertains our proposals, and then comes back and says no. After a year of frustration, we asked for federal mediation in all three bargaining units, of which the university agreed. And at this point, we've concluded 2 negotiation sessions with a federal mediator on all 3 bargaining units. Unfortunately, those negotiations have gone nowhere. The university continues to ask for our steps. They want us to give up our steps in the 3rd year of the contract, which for clerical would begin August of 2014, the service and maintenance in October, and the technical in December. As you know, you've given us a mandate. We won't entertain any proposals that will eliminate our steps. Management has been adamant in every time they come back to the table with us, they want to talk about giving up our steps. Well, and in the meantime, now recently, we get the state legislature, which is proposing a 12.5% cut to their funding for higher education. This is a catastrophic cut for us and for the university. So just recently, all 3 bargaining teams met, and we're modifying our proposals. Our proposals now are for a 2-year agreement. We know over the last 2 years that the administration at this university, at the Chicago campus, has had the money to give themselves between 5 and 12% increases in both 2012 and 2013. We have 2 years that we've been negotiating this contract. Our 2-year anniversary is up in August of this year. We know there's money in these last 2 years of the agreement. We've modified our proposals to go to just a 2-year agreement and no talk about eliminating steps. We feel that we can get a fair and equitable increase for 2012 and 2013, but the university still hasn't come back to the table with any reasonable counteroffer. So last week, all 3 bargaining committees met again, and they decided that they wanted to authorize the union to take a strike authorization vote. And as you're probably aware, over the last 2 days, both Rockford and here in Chicago, voting has taken place at various places around the campus. This vote will continue tomorrow on Wednesday, and I'll give you the locations for tomorrow. Student Center East from 6 a.m. to from 5 p.m. It'll be the entrance at Polk and Halsted, right outside of the bookstore. There'll be tables there that can that will be able to take your vote. We'll also be at the African American Cultural Center from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and that's behind Adams Hall. And also at SSB from 11:30 to 4 p.m. Now today we had an overwhelming number of folks come out to vote. Literally hundreds and hundreds of people flocked into the medical center to cast their vote. We know this vote is overwhelmingly in favor of a strike. People have had enough. They want this contract settled before school lets out this year, and we've committed to those folks that we will get this contract done. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what a strike authorization vote entails. There's some legal requirements with the strike authorization vote required by the Illinois Educational Labor Relations Act. These start with, excuse me.
That's okay. You got to get it together.
These start with, after a number of negotiations have taken place, it starts with the request for federal mediation. At least one federal mediation session has to take place in each of the collective bargaining negotiations, and of which we've now had 2 in each. Mm-hmm. At the conclusion of that, if we decide that we still need to authorize a strike, we go to the membership then, as we're doing over these 4 days. Mm-hmm. The membership then takes a vote, and if that vote is, and from past years I can tell you, we've always gotten at least a 90+% vote. This year we know it's not going to be any different. We expect people are really angry. They really are fighting for their steps, even though we've taken them off the table right now. They are fear of losing their steps in following years. So they want to make a statement this time. So we're going to continue to vote over the next 2 days. At the completion of that vote, We will announce the vote totals on Monday, April 7th. After that, we still have 3 sessions, 1 in each bargaining unit. The technical negotiations, I believe, are tomorrow. I just want to make sure I give you the right ones. I'm sorry. Service and maintenance are Thursday from 9 to 5 p.m. with the federal mediator. Then we're also in technical negotiations on April 9th and clerical on April 10th. We've reserved April 11th as a joint bargaining session for all 3 bargaining units if needed. We expect to be pushing the buttons if we have to by the 11th of April. Now, over the next couple days also, there will be some folks. We have a number of folks that work for the Department of Specialized Care for Children. There's 13 offices scattered throughout the state, and for us to get this vote done in a timely manner and have the results to where we can still do some good with them and affect negotiations, we did a mail ballot for the 13 DSCC offices across the state. Those folks, most of which won't be able to see this show, but there are a few in this viewing area, your ballots must be postmarked, returned to the post office, and postmarked prior to or including April 2nd. We'll accept all ballots that are postmarked April 2nd, and if those ballots come in on Monday, we'll still count them on Monday.
So April 2nd, that's tomorrow.
April 2nd is tomorrow, but these mailings went out last week to all the DSCC folks.
Okay.
And we've confirmed that every office has received them. So please make sure you get your ballots in the mail by tomorrow. It's imperative that they're postmarked April 2nd so that we can count your vote.
So get those, don't mail those ballots back in.
Yeah.
Each vote is very important. We're doing this as a group.
So, and we're also meeting with all 3 bargaining units, the committees, on Thursday night, because these committees have all committed to each other that if the university tries to buy off one bargaining unit, the other 2 bargaining units are going to stay with them. In other words, I should rephrase that. Nobody's going to accept an offer that's better than the other offers without all 3 bargaining units agreeing that we're either going to accept the contract together or we're going to strike together. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about a 3-day strike. What is a 3-day strike authorization vote? It's a secret ballot vote of the membership that gives the negotiating committee the authority to tell management at the bargaining table that the membership has authorized the committee to call a 3-day strike if agreement on a collective bargaining agreement cannot be reached. If the majority of the members vote yes to a 3-day strike authorization, when will the strike occur? What we'll do is go back into bargaining, as I said, on Thursday and next week. If we can't see any positive results or any movement in management, we may drop what's called a strike notice on or about April 11th. Now, it doesn't mean we have to drop it then. But what has to occur is we have to give the university and the Illinois Educational Labor Relations Board 10 days notice. That's 10 calendar days notice before we would actually start striking. So if we were to give the university a notice on, say, April 11th, we could strike anytime on or after April 21st. It doesn't mean we're going to strike on April 21st, but it means now we have complied with all 3 areas of the law: notification, mediation, and notice. And we hope to have those bargaining sessions concluded in a positive fashion next week. But what we're going to do is hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So over the next few days, as I said, the strike vote will continue. And then next week what we'll be doing is beginning town hall meetings to get in touch with folks and see if it should result in a strike that we're going out in 3 days. We're going to need folks to sign up for picket duty. That picket duty is most likely going to occur for each individual at their clock stations. Wherever you clock in, that's going to be the primary picket post. Now, there's many posts that we would have to man throughout the university system, so they won't all be covered, but we will make sure we hit the key locations. A couple of other things I want to talk about that are most asked questions
So I want to
during a strike.
Okay, I want to ask a question. So,
Okay, well,
if I work at UIC and I'm fed up with the negotiations because the management is not trying to hear our concerns, being the workers, what would I do if I'm just a person? Do I just get my shirt and I get a picket line, getting the stick, or what exactly? How would I come out there? What would I do?
That's what we would want you to get in contact with us, and,
Okay.
and we'll be out throughout the university, and we'll have stewards and activists that will also be signing folks up. We'll have a number of picket locations.
Okay.
And what we'll ask folks to do is at least picket for 6 hours each day that you would normally work if the situation should arise. And we'll most likely have you picket outside the building where you work. As I said before, we won't have the ability to do that in all cases, but in most cases that's where we'll have folks at. When we get enough people, we'll assign a picket captain that will run the shifts and take attendance for folks. Because another important aspect of this is that, if you go out and strike, we're gonna give you picket duty pay. So if you man a picket line for 6 hours, and what there'll be is 4 6-hour shifts every day, because we have to run this for 24 hours around the clock for 3 days, and we will do that. Folks will be paid $50 for that 6-hour shift. Some folks may ask, can I do more than one shift? You can, but it will only be $50 per person per day. It's quite an expense. The other things I'd like to mention is that a lot of people ask, can the university fire me if I participate in a 3-day strike? Absolutely not. The university cannot fire you for participating in a 3-day strike if the union has followed all the steps that are spelled out in the Illinois Educational and Labor Relations Act. And those are the steps that I discussed with you. You have to go to federal mediation, and you have to give a 10-day notice. We've complied with those steps. The other thing is that was brought up before is, can the university cancel my insurance? The university cannot cancel your insurance for a 3-day strike. And the other key question that comes up an awful lot is, can a probationary employee cross the picket line, or should a probationary employee cross the picket line? We're going to ask probationary employees to stay out with us. Those probationary employees are protected under the Act, and they are considered part of the bargaining unit. So they have a legal right to strike, even though they are under probation.
Wow. And so people came. So the vote started today. Some of the votes started.
Vote started today. We know there was well over 1,000 folks that voted already.
Over 1,000 people voted.
I was out in Rockford yesterday. Blaine Nicholson will be in Peoria on Thursday, and like I said, tomorrow we'll be at Student Center East.
Tomorrow.
The African American Cultural Center, and what's the other one? SSB.
SSB.
I get it confused.
Okay. All right. And so the thing with the mediator, I guess, going through the whole things of negotiation is that's pretty bad when the employer won't even maybe listen to the mediator when you have a mediator to come in for that, because you're trying to ultimately reach a goal.
It's we've all been through this many times with the university. The university is very used to it, and unfortunately, what we know about the university is they won't move off that dime until we threaten some action. As many of you know, 3 years ago we threatened a strike. We came very close to a strike with these 3 bargaining units. We pulled the strike at the last minute because the university made a counteroffer that was reasonable enough for us to come back and go to the bargaining table. We ended up with a decent agreement that time, but not exactly everything that we wanted. Since that time, we've taken 2 strikes against the university. The first one being with the professional bargaining unit, which was the new bargaining unit organized over the last couple of years.
Okay.
They went out on strike on their first contract, and this is 500 plus professional employees, and it was a successful strike for us. Those folks came out in droves, supported us, didn't go to work. The campus felt was hurt, gravely by their absence. And we got a great collective bargaining agreement for the pros. We also did it again in Champaign with the service and maintenance and the food service workers.
Okay, so
That combined unit was 776 employees, members, that voted to go on strike. We took a 3-day strike down there also, and out of those 776 members, 750 did not go to work and struck the university. Out of all those people, only 26 people crossed the picket line, which was amazing, and we're very proud of all those folks down in Champaign-Urbana. So if we go out here, we hope to duplicate that kind of percentage and those kind of numbers for our folks. We have 3,000 folks up here. If we go out, it's going to be tough for the university.
They will feel it.
And unfortunately, the students will feel it too. So, make no mistake, we don't like to strike, we don't want to strike. Unfortunately, we have to prepare for the strike, and we have to prepare to win the strike. But if there's any solution at the bargaining table prior to going out and strike, we will take that and come back to the membership. If we get a decent offer, we'll certainly come back to the membership and take a vote.
Wow, and that's just the management for there reminds me of a lot of places is whereas they don't. It's a saying, I don't know if you ever heard. Fat meat is greasy. They don't believe fat meat's greasy.
Yeah.
So we got to show them that, we are sane members and we have demands and we want better working conditions and we want those step increases and you can't take it away. And you're not going to do what you feel as if though you want to do and think you can get away with it and not have repercussions of it. And the repercussions of it are the members are voting and the members will vote and the members' voices will be heard in regards to this.
And that's exactly right, Charlie. And so I want to stress one more time how important it is for you to get out there and vote. If you haven't voted yet, please vote tomorrow. We'll be at the Student Center East from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. African American Cultural Center from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and SSB from 11:30 to 4 p.m. Thank you, brothers and sisters, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, and join us next week for another new episode of SEIU Says, and have a great weekend.